Beautiful humans, welcome back to another episode of the I Like Birds podcast. I'm your host, Zach Rippey, and this podcast is dedicated to the non-believers, the confused believers, and the true believers. Because I, at one time or another, was all three, and I'm here to help you get a better understanding of who Jesus is and what he's all about. Let's grow in our faith together. You learn as I learn. I like the Bible, and I like words, so therefore, I like birds. Let's start the show.
People, are you ready? Let's start the show. Let's start the show.
Hello, my fellow birds. Welcome back to another episode of the I Like Birds podcast. I'm your host, Zach Rippey. Thank you so much for being here. It's been way too long since I've been behind the microphone, and so much has been happening. So much goodness from God has just been touched on my life, and that's why this episode is going to be called God's Hand. It's something that just came to me as I was writing my notes about what I wanted to discuss with you guys today. Because as some of you know, the first about 100 episodes, 110, probably I'd say the first 100 in that realm was mostly written. A lot of them were written. A lot of them were, I really wanted you to hear the message, the verses, and just being able to really soak in God's word the first, year and a half while we did this. And now we're getting to the place of just really maturing in our faith to the point where I feel I can write the notes down and just be able to share with you guys all that's been happening in real time while also incorporating, the Bible and while also incorporating God's truth through it. And it's just been so exciting to be able to get to that place in this show where I feel comfortable enough to do that with you guys. So I truly appreciate you guys being here for that. There are plenty of podcasts out there where you can, get really studious with it, study God's word. And we're going to, of course, do that as we go about from time to time. But man, there's just so much happening in my life worth sharing that, it's feeling more and more like just a living testimony and like a podcast full of testimonies, and from my own and from other people that I have on the show going forward. I really hope that that's kind of, revealed in a big way to people. And I think it is, inviting people in on your spiritual journey. They're going to hear your testimonies and it's just going to get bigger and bigger. And that's kind of the basis of the show that I feel like is God is really, pulling me towards, because man, when I was writing the episode, I went and or the episode notes, I should say, like a little pad that I have by my desk right here. God revealed to me all that he's been doing, because I had so many bullet points of things I wanted to share with you guys. And I'm like, man, it's only been a few weeks since I've been on air. I think it's been like 3 or 4 weeks now, probably 4 weeks. And there's just been so much happening. The episode that I made was like praising God on the other side of the storm, because man, we just moved into our house and there was a big adjustment period with that. New baby, new house on land for the first time. Being a homeowner in this world that we're living in right now is such a huge blessing. So I do not take that lightly, and it just shows the goodness of God through it, because man, that whole getting into this house was a huge testimony, and I was battling through that with you guys in real time during the last season of life. And it just feels so good to be here in this position to where we can celebrate the victories together. And that's something that is going to be the main point of this episode. But I think even going forward, man, of course, there's things that are going to come down your way that you're not expecting. And life isn't always going to be good. But when it's good, you got to praise him for it. You got to reveal the fruit. You got to testify of his goodness. And that's exactly what the verse that was sent to me by my brother-in-law, Dan, who's new to the fam. Shout out Dan. He's an awesome guy. He's been really pouring into me, just with man stuff, honestly, and just he's gonna help do the chicken coop. We go back and forth over good conversations about Christ when we're around each other, and he's really been lifting me up in this last season of life since he's been dating my sister-in-law. And I have a strong feeling they're gonna get married, and I've been praying into that as well. And I'm just very happy for both people involved in that. And I think I mentioned him on one of the previous episodes as well. And he actually, because we had a conversation about it, because I was feeling in this place, guys, I'm not going to lie to you, for the last week, I didn't really want to do a podcast because I don't know, I was feeling so overwhelmed by just so much goodness, the way things have just been going. It's been very, it's been weird, because it's like your dream coming true. And it's like once you, And that's the thing. It just sounds like you never hear people talk like this, to the point where it's like we've gotten so used to hearing like the negative, or like, or like hiding the blessings, or trying to be false humble, and not like, share things about our life. And that's the thing. I do have a problem of, being, cocky or confident, or ego driven, or just like kind of like achievements and stuff like that. I'm very like a driven person like that. So sometimes my attitude comes off in the wrong way in regards to that. Even just the way I like talk to people, I don't do a great job with that at times. Funny for a guy that has a podcast, I'd be stuttering through it, and just done comedy. Yet I still, sometimes don't say things correctly. And I'm like that in real life too. Like if I'm having a conversation with somebody, sometimes I'll just say the wrong thing, or I'll say something stupid, or I'll say it in a bad tone, or I'll say something that's like a thought that comes to my mind that I didn't really process through my Jesus filter, and I'll just say it. And so I'm working on that as well, of course. But what I'm really getting at here is like, I've been in like this, and I was telling Catherine this, I didn't even plan on talking about this on this episode, but it kind of was revealed to me when I was on a walk one night on my property, that I feel that Jesus, like through everything he's been doing since coming into my life over these last 2 years, in the way that he has, to the point where it's made me want to, change my entire life and tell people about Christ, and just live a whole different way than the old Zach used to live, and, grow and just accept him. And, you get the point. But with that being said, I feel like since coming to him, he has truly pulled me out of different pits of depression, of different seasons of hurt and pain, and he's resolved those things one by one in my life. And there's still things that need to be resolved, of course, in my life that isn't perfect, but at the end of the day, I'm seeing the fruit of what his goodness does. And the fact that like he's empathetic, he's compassionate, but he's never empathetic. He'll come down to the pit with you, acknowledge it, but then like rebuke it and fight it, and just be like, yo, have the faith. Like, come on, I got you. Why are you even doubting this? My hand, I got you. Like you walking with me now, and then boom, resolve, pull me out of that, pull me out of different ones, pull me, and it's just a really cool things. And when I think of pulling as well, right now in my mind, as the Spirit's moving right now, I'm starting to think about like, yo, that is the hand of God. This isn't planned. Like I said, I take little show notes and just to reveal to you guys, like, yo, God's hand pulling me out of all different sides of depression, as far as stress, anxiety. And I hate those words because our culture has hijacked them, but they're real things, y'all, but they're not of God. They're of, demonic. I don't want to say demonic because that's always, taking such a strong word, but unclean spirits. Is that good? That kind of, fleshly things. We're all so fleshy, we can admit that. Where we fall short and we're like, that wasn't even me. Like, I didn't choose to do that. I just fell short in that because I'm human. Like, what? I don't like that I'm human. I hate that I think this way. I hate that I am this way, in certain regards. But at the same time, it's like, yeah, that's what we're dealing with here in this world right now. And God was pulling me out, the Noah pain of him, co-parenting him from afar, and him being in another state, and then him moving to Florida, and then the perplexity of like, do I go to Florida with the family? Do I stay here? And not that that was a very hard season to hear that. And that we heard that news that he was going to Florida when we were on the RV journey too. So we were kind of loose with it, like, yo, we could, if we really wanted to, go to Florida, and we were just really kind of trying to figure out what was best for our family. And next thing you know, we find out that Noah's moving to Texas, and it's just like a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful moment. It's a huge victory as a father, and just been able to homeschool him here, and just really pour into him, have fun with him, and just see him be a big brother. And it's just been such a awesome feeling to just get my family back intact, bro. It's really what it comes boiled down to. Like, that's hard not to be depressed about. That's hard not to think about every single day. Like, oh, I wonder what Noah's doing. I don't even know when next time I'm gonna see him. Like, how long is this countdown gonna be? And right now, by the grace of God, he's an hour and 15 minutes away from me, and we do co-parenting thing just so much better than we used to. And it's just it's all glory to God, man. Because without him, that would not have been possible. And so that's just one example, guys, of something that's like drastically that's happened in my life. And then just being stuck in a backyard, being unsure what you're supposed to do as far as getting into a house or renting and this and that, coming up with a plan that's best for your family. And then, in 8, Catherine's pregnant. The platelet situation that we were sharing with you guys earlier in a couple episodes ago with her health issues with the pregnancy. She's Gucci. She's good now. But at the time, high risk, super stressful, home birth stuff that we were trying to do. And God came through in a big way with that. Came through in so many other ways, financially, losing. And that's the thing, man. God has put me through this storm to be able to help people if they're ever going through this same issue, and this is what a thought I had for this original episode until I, sat down and took some notes. But I'll testify on a short little note here. But even the fact of, man, when I was around the time I was going to Africa for the mission trip, guys, I don't know if you guys are aware of this. I think I shared about it quite a bit on the show. But I was going through a super tough financial burden at the time as far as not making income. I was making super good income working for myself and being my own business. And then all of a sudden we just had a dry season of work come through. Plus there was just some stuff going on with with like my what's it called? My like hub of where I get like all my clients from. My service is called Fiverr. I don't know if you guys are familiar with it, but basically like my little page was not working right. And that's the whole thing about being reliant on technology to do your job. It's like, sometimes it doesn't go your way. And that's the thing. It really made me realize, like, detach yourself from, Fiverr pays my bills, because they don't. It's clients that come there, and obviously they're the middleman, per se. But Fiverr doesn't pay my bills, and Fiverr doesn't provide. Fiverr doesn't, put food on the table. It's God that does that. And realizing that through that time, and just having to turn to Him for our finances and turn to Him for the big purchases that we were trying to make with the house when we had no money coming in. It was a huge stress, huge financial heartache, or whatever you want to call it. Tough times, there you go. It was tough times. And being able to be on the other side of that and just and see what God has done since He's got us in His house has been incredible, y'all. God turned my business upside down, like to the point where it was, it felt like a famine, and then all of a sudden feast for the month of May. Like it all started coming back as soon as Zeke was born, as soon as we got into the house, and God was using me to do other things during those times. And I'm like, it was all because of the hand of God. I wouldn't have gone to Africa if I was still working and having to do orders and stuff like that, and all the speeches that I had to do at that time. If that wasn't taken away then, I would have never went to Africa. I would have used an excuse of like, I can't not money. We're trying to get in the house. Like, we're going to need this money. But instead he took it away cold turkey. And then and then what else happened? We were homeschooling Noah at that time. We were just getting started on that. We were doing all the house stuff, all the construction stuff, going to meet with different people out here. And then I wrote a book, in the meantime. And, I keep talking about it, and in another phase of editing. So I didn't realize that I was going to read through it and dislike some of the stuff that I wrote, and just kind of have to touch it up and just fact check some things, and, just go through the process of having it be a really good product. So I'm still pushing for summer. I'm almost done with my final edit with the pen, and then I got to go through and mark up all the changes with the computer again that I made with the pen, and that takes time. So hoping for the end of summer, September, I don't know, something that starts with an S, right? We'll see. But yeah, so thanks for sticking with me, guys, so far into this. I know it's been a little bit rambly. I want to get more on topic here because of the notes that I took down are really good, and I really want to share some things with you guys. So yeah, man, I'm so happy right now. My life is just, it feels like God is with me throughout every step of it. And even the things I've been stressing about, I've been just giving to Him, surrendering it over to Him. And it's just been a really nice feeling. And it's been, like I said, it feels so rare to be in this season of like, things are good. And it's like, don't get me wrong, I'm a blessed man, but when you have a lot of like things on your plate and a lot of stress on your shoulders, it can not feel that way, right? It's all about perspective, and it's all about, making sure that you're in a situation where you feel like, all right, we have some boots in the ground. We put some roots down, and that's where the happiness really came from. Speaking of roots, your boy was just out there pulling vines, cutting stuff up, raking, bagging, putting stuff in a wheelbarrow, dumping it on the land, like making a really nice spot to do some gardening stuff out here for Catherine. I know she wants that really bad. And of course, I'm going to be helping as well. But that's kind of like her, she really wants to get that started. So I made her little tree pretty nice. And I felt like really good about that today. And it just shows that like, I got up early to do it. And it's just something that I really want to start doing, and I've been doing a lot more of around here. Is just a lot of outside work and just cleaning stuff up and making things look nice, getting prepared. And when I say garden, I mean this because man, there's a lot going on right now, guys. And granted, the internet and the and the real world are two different realities, but at the same time, they're starting to kind of come together a little bit more. What I mean by that is like, yeah, there's a lie going out there, but there's some truth out there if you find it in the right spots, and the truth on the internet is coming to pass. There's been a lot of discussions about food shortages, and things are getting real when it comes to that, guys. The baby formula shortage was a start to kind of, get people ready. And I don't think get people ready as far as like, it was intentional, but maybe then again, intentional meaning like not warning people, not doing anything about it, still printing, trillions of dollars and sending it to Ukraine instead of, using it for our manufacturing or farming or anything like that to get our, grains and fruits up and milk, dairy products, chicken stuff, and then there's all these, I don't know if you've seen it, but there's a lot of reports of fires and plane crashes and weird things like that happening at food processing plants all across the nation and the world, and that's a little alarming. We have Bill Gates buying up farmland. Wonder why that is. And we just have a lot of sketchy stuff going on with wheat and corn and fertilizer and diesel shortage and energy shortages. I don't know. I think that there's a high possibility that our world is going to look a lot different in 6 to 12 months. And I have not been one to lean into fear, but I've been one to speak that truth and just tell my listeners like, yo, get yourself some food. Spend the bread, put it on a credit card, get yourself some stuff that you can have in dry storage, some beans, rice, perishable goods, soups, survival stuff. Because the worst thing that could ever happen for you and your family is you go to the grocery store and there's nothing there that you guys eat. So with that being said, that's where panic happens. That's where things get weird in the streets. And I'm not in the streets, so I feel good. But also, I know a lot of my people be living in the streets. A lot of people that listen to the I Like Bird show just be in the streets. So if you want to go ahead and just make sure you don't gotta compete and choose between heat and eat, get yourself some dry goods. All right. Don't want to get too much into that, but yeah, that's just something that I've been doing a lot of listening to as far as certain podcasts and different analysts. I've been kind of just researching and keeping up with it because it's getting real out here, and we're preparing a garden for a reason, guys. We just got a beautiful blessing of, obviously we'll see if we can afford it, but we just pulled the trigger on it. Basically trying to get some meat sent to the house every few weeks from a local farm, and just getting that kind of system intact now before the grocery stores really get weird. So I encourage you guys to just take a night, look up some stuff that's going on the internet, ditch the shows, ditch whatever the entertainment stuff is, and get educated and see what you need to do to prepare your family for what is coming. And I say that with love. You guys know I speak a lot about gold and silver on this podcast as well. And it's not because I want your money or anything of that nature, or I want the price of gold and silver to go straight up so that I can make some money off the 45 to 145 people that listen every week. No. It's to protect, it's to preserve, it's to prosper, okay? Because in order to prosper, you have to first protect. All right, I'm making this up as I go, but that's real. In order to prosper, you have to first protect and then preserve. You got to preserve the money that you're making by putting it into something that is not going to devalue every year like we're seeing with the US dollar. So with that being said, please keep in mind the gold and silver connect that I leave for you guys in the episode notes. He's my boy Michael. He's wanted to partner with the show as far as enlightening people on the truth about gold and silver, and it's something that you'd want to have for if things get a little weird. You're going to want something to barter with, you're going to want to trade, you're going to want to prosper on the other side of maybe the US dollar collapsing or the food prices and commodities going so out of control that your job can't afford to pay you anymore, so therefore cash is almost obsolete to you. And guess what you have laying around the house? Silver and gold that you can go trade with, not on the black market per se, but you can hook somebody up if they hook you up, and that's what it's all about. Going down to a little local farmer's market and being like, yo, I need some food for a month or a week or a few weeks. Like, here's some silver. What can you do for me? You know how many farmers are going to take that bet? Bruh, give me that silver. I got you. This is what I do. This is what I do for a living. You know, I got food at the house. I got cows at the house. What you need? I got security too. What's up? So get your security right. We also see that they're trying to come after guns again. Don't want to get into too much of that. It's obviously, a tragedy. That's an understatement. It's a sickening. It's evil. It's a spiritual war happening right now. We hear stuff about the person that was the shooter's background and what he was into, and it's all very worldly and culture stuff that is confusing these kids, man, to the point where this is not a gun problem. This is definitely a spiritual and also a cultural problem that we have, where we are teaching these kids the wrong way to live. And a lot of times that is a reflection on parents, but it's getting even more so a reflection on just what's going on all around us, and the fact that nobody really steps up and speaks that truth in a way that feels like it is the majority of people. We have a lot of people that are still on the sidelines, worried about their jobs, or worried about their public opinion, or caring what people think, and they don't say that truth anymore, to the point where it's like our culture hates it, and that's our flesh. Our flesh hates it, and it's the fall of America. We're kind of witnessing it, guys. And this show is about Jesus, jokes, and a little bit of country, and it ain't funny, but this is the first time we've talked about country in quite a while. So the State of the Union, I'm not feeling good about it. We had a whole bunch of people parading Biden around like he was going to be the loving savior. He's so nice. Like he likes ice cream. Like he's going to be a great president. I swear. He was great when he was with Obama, and they just did so much good for the country. Like, there wasn't racism then. You know that? There was no racism when Obama and Biden were in office. Yeah. None. There was no school shootings when Obama and Biden were in office either. So the guy's been in Washington for 50 years. He's bought off. He's paid off. You guys know the deal. If I have to explain that to people and have to dumb it down, and that's the thing, I'm not going to be the one that hides that truth from people on my airways, even if I get in trouble from people or have comments and whatnot, or lose subscribers. That's okay, because sometimes it's about, making sure you still keep your dignity. All right. And that's where we're at right now. So yeah, man, I want to, I got a little real, man. I like that though. It's been a while since we've had one of those, but let me talk about this since we're talking about that right now, because this is kind of a good segue. Like we said earlier, man, we're living between two realities. One's truth and one is the lie. And at some point, like we said, the world hates the truth. So at some point, you got to make a decision to seek truth in pretty much all that you do and all that you hear and all that you believe. All right? Because the truth is outside of emotion. The truth is outside of your preconceived notion. The truth existed before you came to realize it. Truth has been there before you, and it'll be there after you. All right. And that's why God is truth. And that's why walking in that alignment with him and following his word, studying his word, praying to him, worshiping him, and just keeping him at the center of your life is so valuable and so important and so necessary in this new world we're going into. All right. And I mean that seriously, because there's going to be a lot of things that look a lot different than they do now. We're seeing the changes happening, and they're getting faster and faster. And we're going into this, it seems like this crisis to crisis economy, where something bad happens and we print more money. Something bad happens and we do this. Something bad happens and we have these false solutions because we're not actually working at the problem. We're just throwing money at it. We're not actually producing anything. We're not coming up with solutions. We're not innovating. We're not doing things that need to keep us going forward. And I have a very strong belief that we're actually going to go backwards in a lot of ways in our civilization with humanity. And I think a lot of it is going to stem from the food. And that whole thing is going to blow things up to the point where it's going to be a mental shock for a lot of people, and it's going to make a lot of people have to get off the internet and learn how to start taking care of themselves, in a way that's real, in a way that's not working from home, and that's the thing. I work from home. I'm a writer, so I feel kind of weird about it sometimes too. But then again, it's like, all right, I'm not going to be like, just getting cushed out here and fat and happy. Your boy's going to go out there and start, learning how to do some stuff. And luckily, by the grace of God, I have the land to be able to do that now, by And that's the dream come true. And that's what I'm saying, guys. So stinking happy right now, because even though I can tell you all those things that are, coming to pass and happening right before our very eyes, I'm so in line with the faith that I am not really concerned. I am prepared. And that's a good place to be, where you realize, like, all right, you're making moves to, like, if this happens the way you see it happening, y'all are good. And that's beautiful. That's security. That's protection. That's working in faith, in alignment with what he's giving you and what he's revealing to you through his word and through prayer and through other people and through just the things that the hand of God, honestly, that's how he reveals it. The hand of God. I'm gonna get a little sip of water. You guys good? What do you think of this episode so far? Do you think it's a good one? If so, let me know. Tag me on something, on a story. Send me a text. Send me an email. Connect with me. I miss you guys. I want to hear from you. So hit me up. And it's cool, man. Here's the thing, too. This is something that's been fun. And I don't think I'm actually going to continue doing this very often. It's just something that I really wanted to try. And I kind of had it kind of in me, needing to do it almost, to celebrate the victory of just being here on this property with a beautiful pond and land and fire pit, a grill, like just doing the whole thing, right? So I had some friends come over, not just when Mikey and Olivier were here for my birthday, but I had some friends come over and some family come over, and we just kicked it, man. We had Robert Chapa and his girlfriend Brooke Ledbetter from the comedy days come through, and we kicked it, guys. We got Robert his first Robert Chapa. We got him his first bass on the water, and it was a cool little feeling, and got to talk about Jesus a little bit, got to pour into them, feed them, make sure that they knew that they were loved by the Rippies, and then they're trying to move out to Arkansas as well to get some land out there. So it's just kind of cool for them to come out here and see what we're doing, and just be able to, be a little inspiration to them and a little light, And, it was awesome to see, Choppa, and we had some good laughs and just good connects, and one of my really good comedy buddies from Texas up here. So it was really cool to reconnect with him for the first time in 2 years, guys. So it was a beautiful thing. Then the following week, I had my brother-in-law, my other brother-in-law, and my brother-in-law's friend, and my sister-in-law. I had the family and a family friend come out, and we shot guns. We shot an AR-15. Don't tell anyone. All right. Yes, we did. All right. I digress. You guys see they just took away guns in Canada? Like, that's wild, guys. That should not be a thing. That should not be happening right now. We've already seen what's going on in Canada. It is not looking pretty out there with tyranny, and that's right up the border, dude. All right. Anyway, speaking of the border, it's wide open. Can I get a, But it is, though. The border is really open, though. Like, that's a problem for our country, too. But anyway, we'll see what happens. But that's why you just got to get your house in order, get your family right, get your security right, and enjoy life, guys. We got faith. We got God on our side. We're good. God takes care of all of us that are his. So, like, don't even stress. Just be aware and don't run from the truth, okay? That's basically what I'm trying to get at you here. Don't block it out. It's getting real. They do these other things like distractions all the time with, the Roe versus Wade, and then the distraction of, not to say that the kid thing, wow, I didn't mean to say it in that insensitive way. Not to say that the shooting in Lviv, I don't even think I said that right, because I haven't been really following it too much, because it's dark, guys. It's hard to swallow that. And, I have a son, and we've just been homeschooling him, and we're considering putting him back in the school next year, because his mom is that a homeowner now as well, and they're in a small town about an hour and 15 away. So he's expressed interest in going back to school, and it just, it hurts me, and it worries me, of course, but that's fear. And we just got to pray for God's protection over Noah, pray for God's protection over our kids, guys, and just make sure that when we're sending them to school, that they know that they're loved. They just be prayed up with them, and make sure we're just, doing the right things we have to do in this world that we're living in right now, right? But keep in mind, all the distractions and stuff like that, it's a lot, right? But anyway, so my friends came over. My friends and family came over. We had a good time. Y'all like how I just kind of switched gears there back into the other story. I don't want to go down there. It's not fun. It's not a fun thing to hear about on a show. And not to say this show needs to be fun, because it's real and truthful, but it's also like, dang, everybody's already talking about it. Let's talk about what we're doing to make sure that we're our families are protected, and we're living in God's truth, and being able to pray for situations like that, but not get distracted from what also is happening in real time, which is the things that you need to do to prepare for just the new world we're going into, guys. They keep talking about digital currencies, as well as the if the dollar collapses, and they're talking about like shortage cards, which is like a digital shortage or digital ration cards. Wow, digital ration cards. Yeah, who would have thought, right? So we talked about the vaccine on here a few times, so just be aware of that and whatnot, and hang out with good people and good friends and family that are on the kind of same page with you, because I had my brother-in-law's friend from Maryland named Roy out here, and Roy was actually a fisherman, with his dad. He knew some stuff I didn't, and it was cool to just kind of soak up his knowledge and talk to him while fishing about, Friedrich Nietzsche and life and God. And I got to reveal like, yo, all the blessings that you see like today, man, this all comes from the Lord. And, I felt kind of weird about it, because it wasn't like one of those things where it was like, it was hitting to the point of like, oh, like, yeah, he's with me. It was kind of like he's still seeking, the truth, and he's not 100% sure he does believe in Jesus like I believe in Jesus. And we were kind of in this little conversation where we're trying to figure out like, yo, like, where are you at? Where am I at? And just kind of get to the place of like, all right, like, let me pour into you and this and that. And there's only so much you can do in that situation. But at the end of the day, we had the love of Christ there, because I kept, bringing up Christ. I kept bringing up the Holy Spirit being on the water, while me and Noah are ringing in fish, dude. Oh my gosh. Noah out there caught 6 fish in 1 hour the day we were trying to catch fish to prepare it, to cook it. Right? He caught 6 fish in 1 hour. This dude is a beast, right? And we're thinking putting the fish in our brand new cooler that we got to take on our family vacation. And we thinking we used the cooler to keep dirty fish in there. So now we got to clean the cooler. But then and then I caught 3 fish, and then Zach, my brother-in-law, caught a fish as well. And Roy got goose egg, bro. He got skunked, and it was kind of a bummer. But at the same time, it was cool because he came over and he showed us how to fillet the fish and just cut it and flake it and just really prepare fish to grill, right, and to cook. And it was just a really cool experience, because we each got to learn it. We each got to do it. And now I feel confident that I could do that if I needed to. If things get real weird and I need, some fish to eat or something like that. Not to say that it could get that bad, but at the end of the day, it's like, bro, you teach a man to fish, he could eat for a lifetime, and that's what Roy did. That's so spiritual, and that's such a beautiful thing. And that only happened because I opened my heart to being hospitable at the new house. And I'm like, yo, like, come over, come get dinner, come do this, I'll take care of you guys while you're here. And, I got a family and everything, so I can't, be all hands on deck like that. But when they're here, try to just show love and just show the love of God through your experiences and your just your mannerisms and the way you just carry yourself, the way you just do life, and I don't get it right all the time. Sometimes I'm like, oh, that dude's still worldly. You could definitely say that. Oh, he's definitely worldly still. He still likes Russ. What you mean? That's funny. So God's hand's been moving, man. That's basically what I'm getting at out here. And then so this is one of the big points of this episode, is that probably the biggest point is like God's hand's been on everything, and I'm just in that victory. And I was feeling a little bit guilty about being in that victory, because it's like, dang, like, this all happened. Like, do I deserve this? And should I be sharing about that? Or is that kind of like boastful or braggadocious in any way? And then I'm over here like, nah, man, I'm just trying to boast in Christ. And I'm trying to have this like almost like a spiritual like alignment with like the way I perceive it. But also I want to just make sure that like I'm 100% into that, boat, and making sure that people are aware of that, because without God, this is nothing. I am nothing, so as long as I'm always making sure that Jesus is the center of all the blessings, as far as like the fruit of my life and whatnot, then I should be able to celebrate those victories openly without feeling like hesitant about it. And that's the thing. I was feeling like kind of like, oh, because Dan, my brother-in-law, mentioned, he's like, yo, man, it looks like you've been having a stinking blast out there, dude, and life is just killing it out. And then I started to feel like almost like, yeah, it has been going really good. Is that weird? Is that not okay? Like, feeling that way of like, and it's almost just because of just, putting your head down and just battling everything you've been through to get to this point. And you just start to think like, yo, is this going to be taken away? Am I going to lose this? And it's kind of like, it reminds me of like that salvation moment, man. Like, once I'm his, I'm his, I'm not losing that. And that's just a beautiful thing. And then Dan, he's thinking, came through the next day, and he was in his Bible, and he sent me a text based on our conversation, because he was telling me in person, he's like, nah, man, you got to live that up, man. Share that with people, be the light, like really encouraging me in that. And he's like, man, we just got to point that finger to the Lord and just remind people that that's where it comes from, so keep sharing and keep doing it, like he was really encouraging, because I really needed to hear that, because I was just kind of like in this confused place of like, I was in my flesh, basically. I was in my flesh. But then he sent me this verse, right, in Psalm 118. he told me he was in there that morning, and he sent me verse 15. And then so I just wanted to read to you guys verse 15 straight down to 29, because it's just so powerful, and it just really shows what kind of season I'm in my life right now. And I hope you guys are there for it. And I really do, man. I really, like, you go away for a while, you're like, oh, who's gonna listen when I come back? And you're like, man, I hope they still tune in. And for real, man, I hope you tune in. Like, I hope you stay with me throughout this journey, because things are happening so fast and just are so, the fruit is all over my life, and I can see it, I can feel it, and I have evidence of what my faith has provided, and I want the same for your life. We grow in our faith together, yo. So please be here. All right, let me read this verse 15. There are shouts of joy and victory in the tents of the righteous. The Lord's right hand performs with determination. The Lord's right hand is raised. The Lord's right hand performs with determination. I will not die, but I will live and proclaim what the Lord has done. The Lord disciplined me severely, but did not give me over to death. Open the gates of righteousness for me. I will enter through them and give thanks to the Lord. This is the Lord's gate. The righteous will enter through it. I will give thanks to you because you have answered me, and you have become my salvation. The stone that the builders rejected has become the cornerstone. Ooh, the stone that the builders rejected has become the cornerstone. The one that the world said, nah. Ooh, the stone that the builders rejected. That's so good. This came from the Lord. It is wondrous in our sight. This is the day the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. Let us be glad in it, guys. Let us rejoice in it. Let us feel it, and that's the thing. My I don't even know what it is, but it's almost like the enemy didn't want me to celebrate and enjoy the victory of the Lord. That's really what it is. It's like, I was looking for stuff to, not looking for stuff to stress about on purpose, just kind of naturally finding stuff to just, over worry me or just, weigh me down and just kind of make me, be in a funk essentially, and that's not cool. Not to say that it lasted every day, but at the same time, it's like, man, you go through these little seasons and little things throughout your week where you just, I don't know. I'm very conscious about how my days and my weeks go, especially in my faith journey. And I wonder if you guys are too, because I think about stuff like that. Like, yo, how was my week? Like, what did we just go through? What was that? How can we learn from that? How can we grow? Right? All right. Verse 25, it says, Lord, save us. Lord, please grant us success. He who comes in the name of the Lord is blessed. From the house of the Lord we bless you. The Lord is God and has given us light. Bind the festival sacrifice with cords to the horns of the altar. You are my God, and I will give you thanks. You are my God, and I will exalt you. Give thanks to the Lord, for he is good. His faithful love endures forever. Bro, what? My boy Dan sent me that, as confirmation of bro, go to the word to find how you should be perceiving this. Yes, you should be celebrating what God's doing. Yes, you should share with people yo, the cribbo, yo, the land, yo, the pond, yo, the grill, yo, what's good? We about to get the porch, dude. What? And it's hey, that's not from me, that's not my doing. I work hard and I write a lot and I do a lot of everything I can to provide for the family. And I feel like I try to make good moves with the money and be a good investor and be a good steward of it, really, truly. But at the end of the day, it's all a blessing. The money ain't mine, it's God's, so, and whatever he wants to give me to do with it, that's great, and if one of those things happens to be, buying paying for a porch, so be it. I'm going to get a porch, and I'm super pumped about it, guys. Freaking hype. You have no idea what it's going to do for the crib, bro. Because right now we go outside, and we don't really have a spot to kick it. We got the little pond, and we got some beach chairs out there, poor man's furniture. And, we're just doing things slowly but surely, essentially, guys. And it's just such a journey, dude. And I'm going to document that with you guys. I got a little Instagram account called Rippies on the Land. And we're just, going to post some cool stuff of what we're doing out here with the gardening, with the, we got a blackberry bush on the land that we just found the other day. So that was super awesome, just finding that and letting the kids eat little blackberries off of it. Is it blackberries? Yeah, blackberries. Blackberry bush. And so yeah, man, Catherine wants to do some lemon trees out here and just doing some cool stuff, man. Stuff that I'm super nerdy about. We're about to, me and Dan are going to build a chicken coop as soon as we get the area cleaned up, and when we get back from our family vacation. We're about to go on vacation. I'm about to graduate. I'm about to have a book out. Just had a baby. It's like hard not to just be like, yo, look at what God's doing though. Like, this ain't me. Zachary B didn't do all that. I'm a scrub. And that's the thing, man. God blesses all us in so many different ways, each and every one of us. I remember, I don't know if you guys heard this episode where I was talking to one of my neighbors who is actually in the Islamic faith, and we're having a conversation about God and just beliefs and life and blessings. Essentially, he was basically saying, like, not everybody can have every single blessing. The same people that some people are blessed with good health, some people are blessed with money, some people are blessed with children, a wife. Some people are blessed with land. Some people are blessed with a great career. Some people are blessed with good muscles, and a nice body and hair, And I may have a little bit of the beginning, the former, but I don't got the latter. I don't got the latter at all. You know what I mean? Like, if I don't wear a hat, I don't look good. And that's just the truth, man. It's getting sad because I didn't realize it was going to happen. There's nothing I could do about it, I don't think. It's just, these are my cards, But I also have some other dope cards. Like, my other cards are amazing. Wife, kids, house, land. Check. I'll take that. I don't need the hair. I ain't going nowhere. Hey, this is a funny episode, y'all. And that's one of the reasons I like not writing the episodes like fully out. And also, I write for a living now, like so much so to the point of like, I write scripts like two a week usually for another client, 1 to 2 a week for another client, and then I write speeches a lot. And those are just like super random, that they come in and you're like, boom, I got a bunch of speeches to work on this week. So it's like getting behind and I just finished a book. I've been writing a lot. And I'm like, I just kind of want to talk to my people, man. I just want to talk to my fellow birds about life. Is that too much to ask? So writing it is great because you get to see, my writing skills, and hopefully you buy my book one day, and grow as a writer. Yeah, I definitely want that. That's kind of my profession and my calling, I feel like, to reach people for the kingdom, for sure. As well, it's a tool, it's a tool that God gave me, but at the end of the day, it's like, man, just being on here and just being open mic'd with it. And I posted the picture today of the little not garden that I did, but the vine work that I did. And just being able to say, like, yo, I'm about to get on the mic today. Like, I was excited about it, and I hope you guys have enjoyed this episode so far. And if you've been here this long, 42 minutes, I appreciate that. I know we got short attention spans, but so yeah, Dan's verse was awesome. Let me get back to my notes. I've been in my Bible more, which has been awesome. I've been back able to, read a chapter. I've been reading about 3 chapters a week, and would find myself in Psalms and whatnot. And just back in it, man, just opening it and just finding it. And just, luckily Dan sent me that verse and got me in it today. And I'm just feeling really good about it, man. And I see the fruit on life. And I just wanted to give that to you guys today. I want you guys to see that the hand of God is so much bigger than you. Stop strong arming things, surrendering it to him. Even with the stuff we were talking about earlier with the dollar collapsing and inflation and energy prices and food prices, because that can change the way you live drastically, guys. And we need to be prepared for that. We need to get rid of like excess spending on stuff that doesn't really matter. We got to be smarter with our money, be good stewards of it, and be able to help other people in the time of need as well. So when you think about like, I have some extra money this month, let's do this with it. What is that let's do this with it actually, going towards? And, my wife and I, we just went out to lunch a couple times last week and dinner as well. And it's like, was that something that we needed? We could have cut back on one of those, or, I don't know, just moving differently, and not to say, we had it was Memorial Day weekend. It was Noah's last weekend here before he went back to his mom's for the first part of summer. We get him for the second part of summer. So it was kind of like a good way to kind of start the summer with Memorial Day weekend. And, so yeah, man, we had a blast. But so, and that's the thing, just making sure that your life, even if you have moments of, going out and, having a good time, that you're consistently like the way you live, normally is just conservative and making sure you're not going above your means and trying to, take on more debt or anything like that. Because interest rates going up and everything like that. You don't want that on your credit card and all that. So, but if you have student loan debt though, Biden will pay it off though. So I guess that's what we do now. We just take care of people's, loans for them if they're of voting age and wear a mask to school. Yeah. So to college, I should say, and their jobs and Starbucks. All right, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this one. I want to leave it there just so, it doesn't go too long. But I truly missed you guys. God has just been so faithful in my life. And I hope he's been good to you during this last season. Please message me. Let me know how you've been as far as, your faith journey. If you have anything you want to share, I'd love to hear from you. Been busy out here for sure. Doesn't mean I want my inbox flooded per se, but that rarely happens. It's usually always one or two. So if you want to be the one or two that reaches out, please do so. And then don't forget, man, if you guys want to get some gold and silver, our partner, Michael, he'll take care of you. He'll even send it to your house. He'll get you set up with a Roth IRA if that's something you want to do. With precious metals, and he just gives you that knowledge and that strategy and the analysis that you really need to just get a full understanding and education about what investing in precious metals really is. And I say that because, man, I just truly believe that you're going to want to have some going forward in this world that we're going towards. And we're getting further and further away from our money being backed by anything. It's backed by air and they're just printing it. So if you believe that the central bankers didn't know what they were doing with the economic policy and you want to bet against it, if you want to bet against the debt, hey, guess what? Here you go. Here's an option. Precious metals, definitely recommend it. Helps protect you from inflation. Not so much right now, but in the future, we're going to see the price continue to go up. And it's been holding its strength. The stock market's been down the NASDAQ's down 25% year to date. And gold and silver have actually, held up fairly well, especially gold. So, and silver is more of the one that, hey, you're going to make good money on if you have a bunch of this going forward. And also you're going to be able to, buy and sell goods with it. If the world definitely falls apart through food shortages and hyperinflation and war and, of course, global warming. All right, guys. Love you. Have a good one.